I am from a place, a house in the woods, little house in the big woods. Those of you who knew me in college probably could have guessed that my favorite books growing up all had the word little in the title. Little House on the Prairie, Little Women, Anne of Green Gables, that goes without saying. I grew up a home-educated kid in a little house in the big woods of Michigan, right here. My body is a map. I'm from a specific spot, rooted in a house I spent the first almost 18 years of my life in. A brick ranch house on a dirt road, 10400 Ellis Road, E-L-L-I-S, Clarkston, Michigan, 48348. That way of saying it is ingrained in my mind from listening to my mom say it on the phone in our olive green and goldenrod from my good kitchen. I learned most things from my mom. Since I didn't go to school full-time until college, I spent more time at home than most kids. More time with my older brother, with my parents, in that house. That house kept my tiny 4-person family pretty safe and semi-warm for years. I'm really grateful for that childhood, those childhood memories. My brother and I used to run through the sprinkler in our underwear with little kid umbrellas. We spent a lot of time naked as kids because we were in the middle of the woods, who cares? There's one infamous photo of my 4-year-old brother pulling a little red wagon with the 2-year-old Leah sitting butt naked on the basketball, perfectly happy, which, despite my best efforts, my husband Frankie has seen. In and about this house, we were nature. We were constantly raking leaves and hauling them into the woods. We were grilling on the deck and getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. We were building birdie condominiums in the winter in the 1.5 feet of snow that fell on the picnic table on the deck. We'd carve out tunnels and sprinkle birdseed inside for the chickadees and nuthatches to hop through. In the summer, we built a thing called Toad Hall in the sandbox, which is really just a square of 4x4s my dad built, and he'd get a couple bags of sand every summer to pour on top, which would quickly get dispersed, so it was really like a dirt box. And we'd dig down all the way to the clay, which we pretended was gold. And now I was really an innocent bystander to this. It was really my older brother and our friend Marty. They would build this fortress, we'd catch a toad, put him inside all the tunnels, and again, I was an innocent witness, but I think the construction really wasn't complete until we closed up the holes with mud and left. We were tapping maple trees, drinking the cold, clear, sweet sap from the bucket, entering poems and pies at the 4-H fair. I don't know if you realized, but I was crowned the 1998 Oakland County 4-H Fair Queen. We were acting in Shakespeare plays with my best friends, reading for hours, skin knees, sleeping in the basement on the orange shag carpet during tornado warnings. After a certain point, I don't think my dad liked leaving that house. Once his life became narrower and he got laid off, dealing with his own parents' deaths back to back, he took privacy to an extreme. My friends rarely came to our house. It was more fun to go to theirs. Mine wasn't the communal, boisterous, stay-for-dinner house, although I aspire to be that someday for my kids. Our house was private, quiet. It was organized within an inch of its life, eventually passive-aggressive and translated. My mom buffered us from my dad's peculiarities and his inflexibility, until much later, when she didn't. I still struggle to interpret them on my own. I would listen through the window over the porch to them having tense talks outside on the swing in the front yard, reading for hours in bed. I used to go to bed and set my alarm for 11:30 on Saturday nights, and get up and watch SNL in the basement with my brother while our parents slept. When he left for college at U of M, I basically didn't talk for several months. As much as they loved me, being alone in the house with my parents' crackling normal was stifling. When I left, I was so excited to be on my own. My mom had joked that she thought my brother would live at home until he was 25 and then move out at 16. My parents got divorced years later, the end of my first year of grad school. My dad stayed in the house and my mom moved to Tampa, of all places. Going back never really felt like home without my mom. Growing up It was beautifully quiet being out in the woods, secluded from our neighbors, laying in the grass and seeing all of the stars through the hole in the trees above the driveway. Coming back to visit after years in New York, it was hard for me to sleep with that much quiet. I was startled hearing cars drive by on the road or if someone pulled into the driveway. I was suddenly aware of how the seclusion made me feel very vulnerable instead of secure. I had become used to the strange safety of always being in close proximity to other people in New York. My dad sold that house 2 years ago. The property was too much to take care of alone. Someone else lives there now, which is hard to imagine since I still go there all the time. For years now, I've had these nightmares every month or so. They always involve me having to physically fight someone off who's attacking me, waking up heart pounding as if it really happened. I describe them to Frankie and he's disturbed by how violent they are. Usually it's someone breaking in and I need to fight them off to the death, out of self-defense, ripping with fingernails and pushing and pulling with my body, or a knife. Once it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which I ended up stabbing repeatedly with a pair of scissors while I was pinned to the floor. Cars pulling into the driveway, peeking through the blinds on my bedroom window, trying not to be seen, battling to lock the front door shut. My dad shows up somewhere once in a while, never my mom, never Frankie, never my brother. It's never in any of the dozens of places I've lived since leaving Michigan. It's always in the house where I grew up. I am from the big woods. I'm from the grass, the trees. I'm from my brother, my mom, that kitchen. Sometimes my dad. I'm from right there. Now I move apartments every few years, but my home is here with friends and my chosen family. It's in Pennsylvania at my brother's, which I like to call my country home, where my nieces think I'm funny. And the 3-year-old Miranda says things out of the blue like, I wish you lived here so we could spend more time together. I'm determined to give them that close extended family that I never had. But where I'm from, that place is being torn down, turned upside down, strangely, night after night. Thank you.